Well, the mullah regime, obviously, let me just put it, Dr. Taki, you've suggested that actually the MEK is not a major force in this part of the world, that in Iraq they're not considered to be an important player.
In Iraq?
Excuse me, in Iran.
Yes.
They're not a major part of the resistance or opposition. Why would the mullah regime be so concerned about them if they weren't a player?
Oh, the paranoid politics of the Islamic Republic are beyond my comprehension. They're concerned about every expression of dissent. That's what totalitarian countries' governments are like. They try to squash any form of dissent. But in terms of array of forces that could displace the current regime, I don't think MEK will play a role in that.
Okay. I'm not sure what role MEK will play. I'm not sure what their position is in terms of the people of Iran and the Green Movement, etc., as well as the mullahs. But it does seem to me to be clear that Maliki, the Prime Minister of Iraq, thought that he was doing a favor for his buddies in Tehran in committing this massacre. Let's go to a little bit about the relocation and such. Are all of you suggesting then that relocation in the United States is what you think will probably be the end result of this?
I suggest in my testimony that should come under the auspices of the United Nations Refugee Commission.
But the United Nations is located in New York, I think. That's
well, it has offices all over the place, and
maybe we could house them in the U.S. offices in New York. And, yes,
Mr. Chairman, I think that the United States should be prepared to take all or the majority of them, but I do think that many other countries, as we are seeing in Europe, who are unilaterally taking actions in Libya and other places that they think are on the best interests on the world stage. I believe there's tremendous momentum, critical mass building, and I believe if the United States would take a lead, or the UN, I believe we would find a host of countries be willing to take members of Ashraf.
Colonel Martin certainly has made that point that we've got citizens from various countries there, and the witness that we had at our briefing prior to the hearing today was a young lady from Canada. And maybe, Doctor, you could let me know how many people there at Camp Ashraf would you suggest have such ties? What percentage of that 3,400 have ties to elsewhere?
While I was there, I did not consider whether they were citizens or whether they had green cards or visas, but I was impressed with the number of people who had been trained, received graduate and postgraduate degrees in developed countries, in Europe, and in the United States and Canada. I mean, many hundreds of the residents were very well educated, spoke very good English.
Yes, sir.
I should point out that Mr. Stevenson of the European Parliament introduced actually a European plan to first provide security at Ashraf via UNAMI, a United Nations entity, with the help of the U.S. military, and then at the same time with the EU and the U.S. To resettle residents in Europe and the U.S.
Let's just note that my observation, personal observation, is that the people involved in this movement are highly educated people and highly motivated and have a great sense of unity. And while the United States has been in Iraq, which I will close with a little closing statement about the wisdom of us going into Iraq in the first place, considering what this incident is telling us about the Iraqi government. But as long as we were there, we could make promises, and we did make promises to the people of Camp Ashraf. But I think that we should be proud as when we were there in Iraq, that we didn't send the wrong message to the mullahs that we were cowards